What's going on, guys? Vegito here, and after a few months, I can finally bring you a new part. As out of all of my scenarios, this one would probably be in third place in terms of popularity, with obviously What If Ash Evolved One Time and What If Land Sponsored Ash in first and second places, respectively. But enough of that. Let's go for a team recap, since some people might have forgotten a few Pokemon. Also got to mention, this will be the team recap for the Pokemon Ash will be bringing with him to the Orange Archipelago, being Raichu, his starter Pokemon, and his moves are Thunderbolt, Thunder, Quick Attack, and Agility. Charizard is his second Pokemon with moves Flamethrower, Seismic Toss, Fly, and Mega Punch. Charizard is also obeying Ash earlier in this timeline, but Ash is getting an over-reliance on Charizard due to its power. Ivysaur is up next, with its moves being Vine Whip, Razor Leaf, Leech Seed, and Solar Beam. Squirrel is fourth, with moves Water Gun, Skull Bash, Tackle, and Withdraw. And the final member that Ash is taking with the Orange Archipelago is Rhyhorn, with its moves being Horn Attack, Stomp, Bulldoze, and Rock Slide. So, let's go for 100 likes for the next part. If we hit that, I'll continue this series in another part. Make sure to subscribe so we can reach our goal of 2,000 subs before the 1-year anniversary in June. So, enough of the shameless begging, let's get started. Last time we left off with Ash losing to Gary in the Indigo League quarterfinals, and Professor was pressing Ash, Raichu, Misty, and Brock. They go to Valencia Island and retrieve the GS ball from Professor Ivy, but Ash is confused on how they're going to get to Valencia Island. Well, luckily for Ash, there happens to be a lottery for a free plane ride to Valencia Island. Ash does manage to win the lottery, being gets 3 tickets for a plane ride to Valencia Island, but Togepi disappears, with them soon finding Togepi and Jigglypuff causing the blimp to crash. But luckily, the 3 managed to land on Valencia Island at her blimp crash, and meet Professor Ivy, who Brock decided to stay with for the time being, although Ash and Misty decide to head back to Palatown. But they're on a pilotless blimp, which leads to another blimp crash, and crash on Tangelo Island, where they meet a Pokemon watcher named Tracy Sketchit, who joins the two on their journey after learning that Ash knows Professor Oak. Ash also learns of the Orange League and decides to challenge it in this time. After a few days, Ash, Raichu, Misty, and Tracy arrive at Meekin Island. I also forgot to mention, Ash also caught Lapras during this time. At Meekin Island and meet the first Orange League gym leader, Sissy, which in Sissy explains that Orange League gym battles are different than the ones in Kanto, and Sento presses a button on his remote, revealing a line of old soda cans, and the battlefield turns into an aquatic one, with Sissy calling in her Seadra. So Ash ultimately decides to call in Squirtle, with the first challenge being a water gun target practice, where Pokemon's accuracy is tested by shooting as many soda cans as possible. So Squirtle and Seadra use water guns in quick succession to each other, with Squirtle actually managing to pull out the win. Barely, due to training with stronger Pokemon such as Raichu and an obedient Charizard. So after the water gun challenge, Sissy escorts Ash and Co outside the gym to the beach. So Sissy calls out her Blastoise and Ash calls out Lapras. They race with Lapras using an Ice Beam to make an ice track, since Lapras seems to perform better on ice than in water, allowing Ash to win the race and obtain the Coral Eye badge. After this, Ash will go head to Mandarin Island with Biff and Cassidy. Insert Biff, correct people on his name here, using their Drowsy to mind control Pokemon, which unfortunately includes Raichu, with Togepi managing to use Metronome for the first time, and Biff, Cassidy, and Drowsy blasting off. And then they get arrested. Although, let's be honest here, Giovanni's probably gonna bail him out in like 5 minutes. And Crystal Onyx goes, always canon, realistically, except Pikachu is now Raichu, and Ash would probably use Rhyhorn as well to stop Team Rocket from approaching Crystal Onyx. Pinkin Island doesn't change at all, since I don't think Ash would catch any Pokemon that he wasn't allowed to. Shell Shock would change somewhat, allowing Ash to catch Kabuto, and send Professor Oak so we can study it. Pinnow Island makes Misty think her Psyduck evolved into a pervy Golduck, and in the process, Misty actually uses her Goldeen in battle for the first time, where it's revealed that it knows both Horn Attack and Agility. During next episode, Ash learns that the next gym is on Naval Island. Now you're on Naval Island for Ash's second gym battle in the Orange League, on Naval Island against Danny. Danny takes place in this so Ash had to climb the mountain without using any Pokemon. So after a few hours, Ash and Danny manage to scale the mountain, which then Danny reveals the match has 3 rounds. The first way freezing a hot water geyser, round 2 is carving a sled out of the ice using 3 Pokemon, and round 3 is using said sled in the last round to race down the mountain. Ash uses Lapras against Danny's Nidoqueen, and unfortunately still loses. For round 2, Ash has to use Raichu, Ivysaur, and Charizard. And round 3, he uses Raichu, Ivysaur, and Squirtle. Which although Raichu and Ivysaur would increase the weight, but Ash would manage to win, but it would be closer than Canon due to the weight difference. Ash manages to obtain a Sea-Ruby badge, and from Danny, so Ash and Co leave Naval Island, so Ash then catches his Canon Snorlax, which Ash decides to send Ivysaur to Oak's lab, looking for Snorlax, and find Professor Oak meeting Ivysaur as a peacekeeper here at the lab. It's already happened in canon, I'm just having it happen earlier. Ash also learns that he needs 2 more badges for the Orange League, then Meow's been treated like a god. Oh, due to spending all his energy how to talk, he can't learn Payday. Tracy also manages to catch an elderly Scyther during this time. I didn't have Ash catch it since he already has one. Ash goes to meet Prima, the Ice-type master of the Kanto Elite Four. With Ash constantly annoying her about it, Prima agrees to a one-on-one battle with Raichu versus Cloyster. With Raichu opening battle with a Thunderbolt and Cloyster hitting Raichu with a Hydro Pump. And he uses Spike Cannon, but Raichu manages to defeat Cloyster with a Thunder. This does not mean that Ash's Raichu is Elite 4 level yet. So Ash learns that next year on the Tropical Island, the Nidorans still get together thanks to Misty being there. Ash fires on Tropical Island and saves Rudy's little sister, which awards Ash with a gym battle, with target practice being one of the challenges. So Ash will pass the test easier thanks to Raichu, Squirtle, and an obedient Charizard. And with that, we can get into Ash's 3rd Orange League gym battle. So Ash decides to use Electric, Rock, and Water, with Rudy using Electabuzz, Rhydon, and Starmie. Ash uses Raichu, Rhyhorn, and Squirtle. Raichu and Electabuzz come out first, with Raichu opening battle with Agility, with Electabuzz trying to intercept with Thunder Punch, although it doesn't really do all that much. So Electabuzz tries an Ice Punch next. So Raichu uses Quick Attack and hits Electabuzz hard. With Raichu getting it close, this allows Electabuzz to hit Raichu in the gut with both a Fire Punch and an Ice Punch. So Raichu decides to finish this with Raichu using Thunder to leave Electabuzz unconscious. He hits Rudy with 2, so he calls out his Rhydon to finish the fight with an Earthquake. Ash calls on his Rhyhorn with him using a powerful Bulldoze, and where he uses Rock Slide to stagger Rhydon. Rhydon uses Drill Run to leave Rhyhorn really close to fainting, like just one attack and knock it out. Rhyhorn, wanting to win for Ash, manages to evolve into Rhydon and take out Rudy's Rhydon with a Horn Drill. Leaving Rudy with 1, Starmie can out 3rd, and finishes off Rhydon with a Surf. This leaves Ash with just his Squirtle. Squirtle comes out 3rd, and honestly, this fight could go as canon with Squirtle learning Hydro Pump. And here's the change. Squirtle manages to evolve into a Wartortle after the battle. Squirtle was never given the opportunity to evolve in canon, and plus, I think Raichu could influence Squirtle evolving. So Ash gets the Spike Shell badge. Meaning Ash only has 1 more gym battle to win before he can re-challenge the Orange League. Then we have an episode where Raichu and Meows are cuffed together on an island of giant Pokemon. Ash and Charizard battle turning in Tad, and his Poliwrath. And normally, this is where Charizard begins to listen to Ash, but Charizard's already obeying Ash in this timeline. So Charizard learns Dragon Rage and manages to beat Tad's Poliwrath. The Squirtle squad comes back with Wartortle's friends being rather surprised that their leader has become a Wartortle. And again, meet Captain Aiden, who has 3 separate firefighting teams. We have Squirtle, Wartortle, and Blastoise. Snorlax's Pokeball breaks, so Ash has to disguise himself as an apple to get Snorlax across the island so he can get this Pokeball fixed. Snorlax also learns up learning Hyper Beam during this time. We're on the Kumquat Island goes as canon with the gym leader mistaking Ash for his son Travis. The gym leader introduces herself as Luana, a local hotelier whose hotel includes a workout gym and indoor Pokemon stadium. So Ash and Luana agree to a double battle, with Ash using his current 2 strongest Pokemon, Raichu and Charizard, and Luana's Alakazam and Marowak. If whoever loses the Pokemon first will lose this battle. Raichu and Charizard against Luana's Alakazam and Marowak. So Raichu and Charizard decide to come together and make a strategy, with Raichu riding Charizard and hopping up onto Alakazam, trying Alakazam with a Thunderbolt, but Marowak's Lightning Rod ability cancels out the Thunderbolt, which allows Marowak to take a clean Boomerang on Raichu. So Raichu uses agility with quick attack, with charging his seismic toss on Marowak, although Marowak isn't too phased by it. So Alakazam manages to use Hyper Beam, but Raichu uses Thunder to knock over Alakazam, meaning both Alakazam and Marowak get knocked out by Alakazam's own attack. So Ash finally gets a Jade Star Badge to be his case. Ash learns from Luana about the Supreme Gym Leader, the Orange League. On the way to Pumalo Island, Ash manages to catch a Poliwag, and now Ash should go ride Pumalo Island and meet Drake, the Supreme Gym Leader of the Orange League. So now Drake and Ash have a full 6v6 battle, but luckily for Ash, this is not his first rodeo with full battles. And Ash rocking a Snorlax with his Ivysaur. So basically, Ash has his canteen that he battles Drake with, except Pikachu is now Raichu, Bulbasaur is now an Ivysaur, Squirrel is now a Wartortle, and Rhydon places Tauros. And Drake will still use his canteen. For those that don't know, that's Ditto, Onix, Gengar, Venusaur, Electabuzz, and Dragonite. Ditto and Raichu come out first, with Ditto using Transform to turn to Raichu. So he did agility and quick attack. So Raichu uses Thunderbolt and slams Ditto to the ground using its tail, which leaves Ditto unconscious. Drake then sends to his Onix, so Ash calls back Raichu for later and sends in Wartortle for his second Pokemon, with using Water Gun, although Onix uses Dig to dodge. So Ash's Wartortle jumps into the water, but Onix gets the Wartortle faster due to Wartortle's bigger body, so it would have less speed because of its evolution. So Wartortle uses Withdraw and Hydro Bomb to escape the mind, with Wartortle finishing up Onix with a Skull Bash. Ash decides to send Rhydon next against Drake's Gengar. I mean, Ash can't use the whole beginner's luck strategy, since Rhydon has had battles before, such as Gary Indigo League and Jamal Rudy. So it tries hitting Gengar with a Drill Run, which succeeds since Gengar's ability is Curse Body instead of Levitate. So Gengar uses Ice Beam to freeze Rhydon in place, so Ash calls back for Lapras. And that battle goes as canon, with the result being a double knockout. Drake is left with 3 Pokemon, while Ash still has 5, so the field changes to a desert field, and Drake calls in his Venusaur. So Ash thinks about sending in Rhydon, but Rhydon had a massive type disadvantage, so he has to send in Charizard as 5th Pokemon, with using Flamethrower and uses Mega Punch to hit Venusaur hard. But Venusaur manages to hit Charizard with a Solar Beam, with Charizard manages to use Flamethrower to leave Venusaur knocked out. Drake then calls in his Electabuzz. Ash decided to call back Charizard for now and send in Ivysaur. So he uses Razor Leaf, but Electabuzz tries using Thunderbolt. Thanks to Ivysaur's type advantage, it manages to tank the attack with no damage. Ivysaur uses Solar Beam with Electabuzz using Thunder, and this will result in a double knockout. Normally Bulbasaur can knock out from Electabuzz, but due to Bulbasaur being a stronger Ivysaur, I think it would pull out a tie. This of course leaves Drake with just his Dragonite, while Ash still has Charizard, Wartortle, Rhydon, and Raichu. So Ash decides to call in his Charizard next. While Charizard is stronger than Cannon, Drake's Dragonite has 10 freaking moves! So realistically, I don't think Ash's Charizard can beat Drake's Dragonite, although Charizard would put up a way better fight than Cannon. Ash sends in his Wartortle next, who's still tired from his earlier battle with Onix. So it's starting off with Hydro Pump, so Dragonite shocks Wartortle with Thunderbolt. But luckily for Wartortle, it withdraws to its shell in time and avoids the majority of the damage, with Dragonite using Body Slam to knock out Wartortle, leaving Ash to just Rhydon Raichu, with Rhydon trying to end this quickly with a Horn Drill, but Dragonite just catches it. So Dragonite grabs Rhydon by the horn and slams it down, although Rhydon uses Stone Edge to deal max damage to Dragonite. But in the process, Dragonite uses Water Gun to knock out Rhydon. Dragonite really close to fainting, and Ash purchases Raichu. So Raichu uses agility, but Dragonite sends Raichu into the air, as well as Raichu to use quick attack and grab on a Dragonite's antenna, with Raichu finish out the severely weakened Dragonite with a Thunder. Ash becomes the Orange League champion, and after getting his Pokemon healed up, takes a group photo with them, which after sends Ivysaur back to Oak's lab and gets back to Snorlax. Now Ash tries to hit back to Palatown, but first he releases Lapras back to its family. He picks up Brock Professor Ivy's lab, after the two had a falling out, and Ash does a one-on-one battle with Gary, with Ash using Raichu and Gary using Eevee. So Raichu uses agility to increase its speed, and Thunderbolt hit Eevee hard, and finishes Eevee off with a Thunder. So Ash decides to challenge the Johto League, with him taking just Raichu and Charizard with him. And with that, I'll go and leave off this timeline for right now. So remember, 100 likes guarantees a part 3. And with that, I'll get on out of here. Peace!